Hey you guys, so I was tagged by Susanna, and I'm gonna go ahead and do the orchid tag. So first question, how long have you been growing orchids and which one was your very first? Um, I haven't been growing them seriously up until maybe like 2 years ago, but I had about three for a year before that. So I'm gonna say about 3 years. So my first orchid was, I don't remember my very first orchid, but the first orchid that I remember clearly is one that was given to me by my dad. He got it from a lady at work who gave him all the media and the pot to go with it. And I usually just dealt with just regular plants. I've always liked them. So I thought it was so odd that an orchid uses such different kind of soil. So I potted it up in that soil, and it bloomed for me like 2 years later, and or like 1 or 2. I think it was no, it was 2 years later, and I that was it. I was I was bit by the orchid bug when that happened, and so unfortunately that orchid is dead. I remember a time where I didn't water it for 10 days than the regular, like 2 times a week I was doing it, and it died. It might have died from the rot from me watering it every 2 weeks, or um, that break that I took in trying to space out the watering because I wanted it to bloom again, and when I did that, it started dying. Let's see. What is your main reason for growing orchids? So I love orchids. I think they're the best kind of decoration you could put in a house. They smell fantastic. They're a great conversational piece. I've always loved plants, and when I started to grow orchids, I think they're the best kind of plant. I love growing them. They make me so happy when they bloom, and they're so beautiful. And I could share that with my daughter, and she loves to smell the flowers. I can, share it with my dad because he likes plants too. Doesn't like orchids, but I like to show him, that he could possibly grow them too. So I don't know, just love it. Let's see. Do you grow other plants besides orchids? Yes, I grow African violets, and I have one in here that is in bloom. This is a Rob's Astro Zombie. Oh, look at that. It's so pretty. I love African violets. They're like orchids, except they bloom much more often. And they don't smell. I'm going to start getting into fragrant streptocarpus. I just found out that some were fragrant, and I was blown away. So I'm going to be getting some of those in the spring from Violet Barn and Lion London Greenhouse. I don't know what it's called, but that's where I'm going to get them. And I'll show you guys when I do get them. When I grow other stuff, like I have a fig tree that I propagated from a branch that I took from my old house in Sunland Park, New Mexico, and I like fruit trees. I grow some hibiscus, some other houseplants. What are your 3 favorite orchid genera? 3 favorite. Not in any particular order, but the first one is Vanda because they bloom multiple times a year, and I've been able to rebloom quite a few Vandas without any kind of problem. Let's see here. Phals. Excuse me. Phals blooms last so long, and again, they bloom multiple times a year. I love orchids that keep blooming for you. And the third one is Corianthus. I think that is such a cool orchid to have. I was blown away when I first got mine to rebloom, and it's just such a cool orchid. So that's another one. Which are your 5 favorite orchids? So I have 3 in front of me. This one's a Coleogene cristata, and I got this one from an orchid forum. And the reason this one is so one of my favorites is because it is he said it was a wild collected Coleogene. So I think that's so cool. So it's a back bulb from a wild Coleogene in the wild. So yeah. It's so cool. This one's kind of picky. It grows pseudobulbs and they always rot, but I have this one and this one that matured, and let's hope that it spikes soon. We'll see. I've had that one for about a year. This is Millennium Magic Witchcraft. This one was a gift from my boyfriend, and I love the black flowers on this orchid. They're amazingly dark and sinister and cool looking. I love it. I love that one. And then, of course, my Corianthus acanthra. Oh, let's see here. That's what that is. It grows pseudobulbs like crazy, and you know, they're wrinkled. I need to water it more. But goodness, it grew like 5 pseudobulbs after I got it, and it had that spike that it had, and I love it. I love that orchid. So cool. And then I have 2 of my favorites hanging. This is the Oncidium Burgundy number 2. Oh goodness, I have to get on my couch. So look at those flowers. I have to say the smell reminds me of something. I can't put my finger on it, but it just brings a good feeling to me, and I love this one. It's already bloomed 2 times. One of my favorites for sure. And my Psychopsis is definitely my favorite orchid because it blooms all the time. I have to show you guys something. So I had found a snail on it when a little after I got it, and I had to sanitize the soil or the orchid with peroxide, and I thought that had worked, but it didn't. I found another snail, and I had noticed that the pseudobulbs were shriveling, and so I had to unpot it. All the roots were dead, and now it looks so sad. I hope this one doesn't die, but it's still blooming. I don't know what to do. We'll see. Look at those flowers, they're so pretty. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Focusing on my Oncidium Twinkle. Let's see here. Which one of your orchids do you like the least and why? This one. I got this one 3 years ago, and it has done nothing but grow these 2 pseudobulbs. And now it's growing this little one. I forgot what this one even looked like. I don't know. It's not doing it for me. I've had it for 3 years. You should have bloomed already. How many orchids do you have at the moment? I counted just a while ago, and I think I have 110. 110. There, I said it. That's how much I have. What kind of growing space do you have? So you guys know I have a windowsill growing. I have two windows, and you could see that the windowsill is really big. And then I have some shelves in my bedroom that I put more orchids. Have you ever lost a particularly loved or expensive orchid? I would have to say the first one that I got from my dad was one that was painful to lose because it was from my dad. And I always say, I should have said this, that any orchid that is gifted to me is going to be one of my most prized and valued orchids, because that always makes them super special. So losing that one was really hard. And what orchids do you have on your wish list? So I'm going to have to go with Maria Young on the Vanda Carina Motes. That black Vanda orchid, it is beautiful. I probably won't get one of those until I'm 60, but well, I can wait. I still don't have an Encyclia cordillera. I want one of those. Bulbophyllum fascinator. That flower looks so cool. And it has those purple hairs on it. Bulbophyllum medusae. Again, cool looking flower. I like it. And a Phalaenopsis schilleriana. That's what I want. And hopefully I'll get them soon. And that's it, you guys. I think everybody's been tagged so far. So that's all I have. Thank you and goodbye.